Gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Everybody gon' vote. Comrade! Labor right, them a go down, bong. Them a go down, bong. Them a go down. Is that? Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. Margie, him a God picking. No hope their work if you touch Margie. We now vote for Labour. Orange we a come out in now. If you love the PNP, who no step out for Marky G. Jamaica just come along with we. People time come, people time come, people time is up.
Everybody right now, so we bringing the heat in Portland. Portland Eastern from the east to the west. And what we gonna do on election day is broke bars. We are broke. We are make sure say we broke the legacy. There is no legacy after the next election. Yeah man, we'll make sure say we broke that legacy. I see them saying that them want Boston Beach, but Boston Beach belongs to the people.
Yes sir, yes,
it.
It belongs to Portland people.
The first thing we're doing is focusing on health. We're going to make sure that the Port Antonio Hospital is an A-type hospital. I want you to know, don't take it lightly. Right in this crowd, Dr. Fenton Ferguson is here. And it was the Prime Minister of Jamaica that said he heard babies crying. And he went and key to the emotion of the nation. And right now, we lost 24 babies at the Victoria Community Hospital. In one hospital, in 1 month. Unacceptable. And we must understand that health is wealth. So we have to demand better for our health care system. And so we must focus on health. Alright? Health is better than money, believe me. It is the duty of the government to take care of its citizens. We must demand that. Then what is important to me is education. We're focusing on education and we're going to make sure that we have the technology with the tablet drive. We're going to continue that to make sure every child in Portland Eastern have a tablet. We're going to also ensure that when it comes to tertiary education, if nobody in your family went to university, the first one have to go under the PNP. Compulsory, it have to pay for. Alright? When we talk about agriculture from Hector's River all the way back to Nonsuch, all the way down to Norwich, we're going to make sure that the farmers get the funding that they need. We're turning farming in a corporation. Food security is important, and we are going, the next PNP government is going to make sure that people don't go out there and say hungry. People first. Alright? And when we deal with tourism, ecotourism, nature tourism, that is what we're focusing on. Alright? So we need to make sure that we deal with that. So as I am more than honored and elated to tell you, say, the Prime Minister, the next Prime Minister of Jamaica is with us. And he's going to say a few words before we depart. And we're going to tour the whole of Portland.
People of East Portland and neighboring communities. It's an honor and a pleasure for I, man, Marky G, to be here with you today. I start to say. So, I start and I will be powering today, along with Dr. Ferguson, Colin Bell, and all the stalwarts who are here. And of course, you, the workers, warriors, foot soldiers for the People's National Party. And we're feeling our vibes and feeling our energy because we want to take back East Portland for the PNP. Yeah, man. Too long now it's straight since Dr. Bloomfield dead. Too long it's straight. We have to take it back. And I see the commitment. We know so we're going to make it happen. So stand firm and be focused. Because of the hype of this thing, hard work do it. And we have to be brave because we have to be very single-minded. We can't let them distract we. Because they're going to try to knock we off our stride with all kind of things, inducements and promises and other things. But we can't make that stupid decision today that we're going to regret tomorrow and in the future, right? Yeah, man. So I said, you have full support. We are going on the road. I want everybody to drive carefully and, you know, respect the road because we want nobody get hurt. We want a nice, peaceful day. We want everything to be nice. Copy and be nice. All right.
Minister, I just have a couple of questions. I'm going to deal with the first set. Can you state whether all categories of public sector workers who were entitled to receive what I would call the increments, the 3 years of increments, whether they were actually paid by the end of June? That's the first question. And if they were paid, whether they were paid in full. Secondly, could you state which categories of public sector workers were not entitled to receive the 3 years of increments? I do know that persons who would have been acting in positions or not in their substantive positions would not have been entitled. But are there other categories of public sector workers who were not entitled to receive this, and whether those categories were communicated to and with? Because there seems to be some confusion or misunderstanding on the part of some workers who expected to receive this and have not. So if you could answer those, and I have another set of questions.
All right. In terms of your first question, has everyone received this? No. Because various ministries are at different points in terms of the information that is required to be submitted to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Services. So to the extent that a ministry has completed that exercise and funds have been allocated, you know, they would then proceed to pay. If they've not completed putting together the information on the employees or eligible for this, because remember there are 3 categories for these increments, depending on when you entered the service and how long you've been there. Right? There are 3 different categories for that. So
can I just follow up on that then? Can you state then, of the categories who are entitled, are you in a position to state what percentage or how many of those workers have in fact been paid and how many are outstanding? And I think the distinction you made is important, because to an employee not receiving it, they don't really care whether it's the ministry not prepare it or the central government not pay it out. Them just don't get their money. And I think it's important for that communication to be there, because I know there is some unease among people who expected to get by the end of June as per the agreement with the unions, and they are yet to receive.
Well, I know that the bulk of persons would have received based on the warrants that were given to the MDAs. Again, as I said earlier on, the ministries are at different levels in terms of their information, their HR information. There are some ministries that are on the MyHR Plus system, and they were able to submit their information right away. Persons were paid. There are others who, despite their efforts over the years, they're not there yet. So it takes them a lot more time to compile this information. And that's why we have been just drumming it into the MDAs, encouraging them to get on to the MyHR Plus system so they have a good handle on their employees.
So is that optional or is that mandatory?
It's not optional, it's mandatory, but it does take time because of the number of employees, especially at entities like the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the number of employees that are there. I can tell you that at the Ministry of Education, having been there and spent the last 4 years working with them to get onto that system, they were able to produce their information, and I haven't heard that there's an issue at that entity. But we're working with the other ministries to have them understand how important this is for them to have their data in the format where they can easily generate reports and manipulate that data, so that in moments like this, when you have to make big payments to many employees, it is seamless. And so that's what we're working towards.
Or you said bulk. Are you able to be more specific than that to say whether it's 70% of the eligible workers, 80%, what number? Because there are workers listening who thought they would have gotten something by last week in the June pay period. They haven't received it, and they certainly would want to know that they're going to receive this in short order. So are you able to say that?
Okay, I can only say the majority. I don't have the specific percentage. I can only say the majority of persons.
All right, can you say the categories that were not entitled to receive this increment?
Contract officers, for one. Those that are not aligned to the relevant scales are not eligible to receive, and there may be others, but that's the one that comes to mind.
So you can state that for those employees who are yet to receive it, the issue here is that their respective MDA has not submitted the information for payment to be made.
They may be in the process of, there may be any number of issues associated with it, but we have ensured that the funds are available. They're there and will be allocated once we get the correct information.
So would you be in a position to give a timeline as an outer limit on which all those outstanding payments would be made?
I'll just wait a word from the financial secretary. All right, so what I'm hearing from the financial secretary is that funds were provided to all. We would have to do our checks with all the particular ministries to see how far they are in the process of in their processing process.
Minister, it's important that there be communication to the unions on this. I understand what you're saying. It may not be a Ministry of Finance issue per se, but it is one government. And at the end of the day, the persons who are expecting to receive this quote-unquote back money haven't gotten it. And the things you're sharing, them not really business with.
So remember, when you consider, if you go back to March of this year, within the month of March, there was a lot of agitation about the circular to go out by the 1st of April about the increments. We sent out the circular. MDAs knew that they had to put their information together and submit it. Not all of them did in the time frame expected.
No, that's here the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that the communication for those who are outstanding, the MDAs that have not provided information, is important that that be shared with the respective unions so that those persons who have not been paid have an understanding of why they haven't been paid, and that the issue is not that there is a lack of funds. But as I said, it is one government, and at the end of the day, they need to at least have a time frame by which they believe the outstanding payments would be made.
Sure.
Run, go tell the neighbor! Run, go tell the friend! Liberate time, don't pay time, come again! Run! I start to say. So I sat and I will be parring today, along with Dr. Ferguson, Colin Bell, and all the stalwarts who are here. And of course, you, the workers, warriors, foot soldiers for the People's National Party. And we're building our vibes and building our energy because we want to take back East Portland for the PNP. Yeah, man. Too long now it's straight since Dr. Bloomfield dead. Too long it's straight. We have to take it back. I see the commitment. I know so we're not going to make it happen. So stand firm and be focused. Because of the hype to this thing, hard work do it. And we have to be brave because we have to be very single-minded. We can't let them distract we. Because they're going to try to knock we off our stride with all kind of things, inducements and promises and other things. But we can't make that stupid decision today that we're going to regret tomorrow.
Boston Beach, but Boston Beach belongs to the people. You can't get it. Now I'm letting you know, when we say we bring in the heat, the first thing we're doing is focusing on health. We're going to make sure that the Port Antonio Hospital is an A-type hospital. I want you to know, don't take it lightly. Right in this crowd, Dr. Benton Ferguson is here. And it was the Prime Minister of Jamaica that said he heard babies crying. And he went and feed the emotion of the nation. And right now, we lost 24 babies at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. In one hospital, in 1 month. Unacceptable. And we must understand that health is wealth. So we have to demand better for our health care system. And so we must focus on health. Alright? Boston Beach, but Boston Beach belongs to the people.
On the things that we are putting back in the office, on the things that we are novice, on the better listen to this. Vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. We have to tell them promptly, people just vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, we have to tell them promptly, cause when they win them a go dump way. Marky G, you know you the people them really want to see a great leader who will talk to we. Put on the boat and go, they go walk to we. Yes, go march to we, because we have some guy with them on a intention, leading the country in the wrong direction. That's why we come to make we own a selection. This we are gonna do a wedding call the election. Vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. So we are tell them promptly, people just vote them out, cause them not see we when we hungry. Vote them out from Kingston to country. Vote them out, cause when they win them a go dump way. We have to tell them